Fine.
All right, well, our first question comes from Jessie A. She asks, is there going to be more parking on campus for students anytime soon?
Well, that's an interesting question if you think about parking, because if you look at where we're building our next residence hall project, it's going to be on this parking lot. And while I know there are times when it's tough to find a parking spot, that parking lot is probably 40% empty. And our two parking decks near Poly Canyon Village are typically about 50% empty. So if you look at driving patterns of students, fewer students have cars on campus than they did in years past. Right now, about 20% of our first-time freshmen have cars on campus. So it's really a problem if you're looking for a parking spot. But the issue is we actually don't have enough cars to make our parking budget whole. We have a problem with our parking budget because we don't have as many cars as we used to.
Okay.
So not the answer you expected.
So where would you say that maybe frustration comes from? You know, students are looking for a parking spot. Are they looking in the wrong places?
Well, I think it's like myself or anyone. We want a parking spot where we want it at that time, and it is probably a lot about timing. And we may not have the parking spots that we need at the right place. So that's part of it. But longer term, our goal is to be even more of a residential campus.
Okay.
Over time, we want to be able to house all of our first and second year students and a significant number of our juniors and seniors that can live in university housing. And that really reduces the need for a car. So our long-term master plan is much more of a pedestrian, much more of a residential campus.
Okay, and just one last little bit. So with your big residence hall plan, you know, taking down the parking lot that you just were talking about, you're building another parking structure.
Yes, that will that parking, we won't lose all the parking. There's going to be a parking deck that will handle what's needed for our commuter students. We're not going to leave our commuter students in a lurch. Some of the residential students that want to have a car in the future after 2018, I should point out, when this opens, and probably before 2016 when construction starts, they may have to park over by Poly Canyon Village.
Oh, okay.
And so I think it's going to be incumbent on us to make sure that we have appropriate transportation. And it's always beautiful at Cal Poly. We had a little bit of rain today, which we needed.
Yes, we did.
So walking is not a bad thing.
Okay.